For decades, the sci-fi movies told us a comforting lie. They told us that when the robots finally came to take our jobs, they would come for the dangerous, the dirty, and the dull jobs first. We thought they would replace the factory worker, the truck driver, the warehouse stacker. We, the educated, the creative, the strategic. We, the people with college degrees and student debt and comfortable office chairs. We thought we were safe. We thought our brains were too complex to be replicated by machines. But we were wrong. Dead wrong. The invasion didn't start in the blue-collar factory. It started in the white-collar open-plan office. AI didn't come for the construction worker's hammer. It came for the accountant's spreadsheet, the programmer's keyboard, and the writer's soul. If you earn your living sitting in front of a screen, processing information, making decisions, or creating digital content, I have some devastating news for you. You are not the driver of the future economy. You are the roadkill. Today on EconDecoded, we are going to look at the cold, hard reality of the white-collar bloodbath. We will explain why your expensive degree is becoming obsolete faster than a used iPhone, and why the next Great Depression won't be about hunger for food, but hunger for purpose. Let's look at the trap we built for ourselves. You went to college, maybe grad school. You racked up tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to learn a specialized skill. You were told this was your ticket to the middle class. You thought that piece of paper was a shield. It's not a shield, it's a target. Think about what a white-collar job actually is. At its core, it is information processing. You take data in, you manipulate it using rules you learned in school, and you send data out. A lawyer takes in case law and outputs a contract. An accountant takes in receipts and outputs a tax return. A marketer takes in customer data and outputs ad copy. For a long time, humans were the only machines capable of doing this complex processing. We were expensive, slow, emotional, needed coffee breaks, vacations, and sleep. But we were the only option. Then, overnight, the intelligence cost dropped to near zero. Generative AI is not just a better autocomplete. It is a universal information processor, and it is exponentially faster, cheaper, and more accurate than you. Look at coding. For 20 years, learn to code was the ultimate career advice. It was the golden ticket. Today, junior developers are terrified. AI can now write, debug, and deploy code in seconds that would take a human team a week. The job of a programmer is shifting from writing code to merely supervising an AI that writes code, which means you need far fewer humans. Look at the legal profession. Analyzing thousands of pages of discovery documents used to take an army of junior lawyers weeks of billable hours. Now, an AI can scan it, summarize it, and find relevant precedents in an afternoon. Look at creative work. We thought art and writing were the final frontier of humanity. Midjourney and ChatGPT kicked that door down in about 6 months. Why hire a graphic designer for $50 an hour when you can generate 1,000 variations of a logo for pennies? Your expensive degree, your years of experience, your unique perspective. They are becoming historical artifacts, like a certification in horseshoe repair right before the Ford Model T rolled off the assembly line. But why now? And why us? To understand this, you need to understand the economics of robots. This is the part that intuitively doesn't make sense to most people. It's called Moravec's paradox. Basically, it turns out that the things humans find hard, like calculus, legal analysis, and language translation, are incredibly easy for computers. But the things humans find easy, like folding laundry, plumbing a toilet, or navigating a messy construction site are incredibly hard for robots. To replace a plumber, you need to build a complex, agile, battery-powered robot that can crawl under a sink and has fine motor skills. That is incredibly expensive hardware engineering. The plumber is safe for a long time. But to replace a financial analyst, you don't need hardware. You don't need a body. You just need a brain in a jar. You just need software. And software is infinitely scalable. When a company hires you, they get 1 unit of labor for 8 hours a day. When a company uses an AI model, they can spin up 10,000 instances of that intelligence instantly, 24/7, around the globe. Human intelligence is expensive. It is scarce. It demands health insurance and work-life balance. Artificial intelligence is asymptotically approaching free. It is abundant. It demands electricity. If you are a CEO and your responsibility is to maximize shareholder value, the choice isn't a choice at all. It's basic arithmetic. If you can replace a $50 an hour human with a 2-cent an hour API call, you don't think twice. You do it. Or your competitors will, and they will crush you. So, what happens next? This brings us to the terrifying concept of the useless class. Throughout history, when technology displaced workers, new jobs were created. During the Industrial Revolution, the farmer whose job was taken by a tractor could move to the city and work in a factory. It was brutal, but there was a path. Human physical labor was still needed to run the machines. But this time is different, because this isn't an upgrade to our muscles. It's an upgrade to our brains. When AI can think, plan, create, and analyze better than the average human, what is left for the average human to do economically? Historian Yuval Noah Harari warns about the rise of a useless class. Not useless in terms of human worth, but useless in terms of the economic and political system. People who have no skills that the market is willing to pay for. Where does the displaced radiologist go? Where does the laid-off copywriter go? Are they all going to retrain to become nurses and elder care workers? Jobs that require deep human empathy and physical presence? Maybe some. But can an economy sustain hundreds of millions of people just taking care of each other? We are facing a future where a small elite of AI owners and ultra-high-skilled operators control unimaginable wealth, while the vast majority of the former middle class fights for the scraps of the gig economy. Imagine a world with shiny, automated cities, full of empty office towers, surrounded by a sea of underemployed, highly educated people drowning in debt, with nothing to do but consume AI-generated entertainment to numb the pain of their irrelevance. This is not science fiction. It is the trajectory we are currently on. So, what do? The first thing you need to do is stop comforting yourself. Stop saying things like, AI can't replace human creativity, or it lacks real empathy, or it hallucinates too much. You are coping. You are bargaining with a tsunami. Yes, AI isn't perfect today, but it is the worst it will ever be right now. It is improving at an exponential rate. And guess what? Most white-collar jobs don't require genius-level creativity or deep empathy. They require average competence, and AI is already way above average. It doesn't need to be Shakespeare. It just needs to be good enough to write a marketing email. And it is. You have two choices. You can be the person standing on the shore, yelling at the tsunami to stop, clutching your college diploma like a security blanket. Or you can be the person quickly learning how to build a surfboard. The only way to survive in the short term is to become an AI centaur, a human who uses AI to become 10 times more productive. Don't be the writer, be the editor of 10 AI writers. Don't be the coder. Be the architect of AI systems. You must move up the value chain immediately. You must become the manager of the machines, because if you are just doing the work the machines can do, you are finished. But in the long term, we need to have a very serious conversation about the structure of our society. Because if we don't, the death of the middle class won't just be financial, it will be existential. The era of the comfortable, safe, white-collar career is over. Welcome to the Thunderdome of intelligence. Adapt or be discarded.